Welcome to this video, dear learners. Just a short video on how to balance chemical equations. So in our previous video, we looked at how to write chemical formulas and how to write chemical equations. So if you're new to the channel, please make sure you watch the previous videos, subscribe to the channel, and also share to your friends. Okay, so balancing chemical equations. Okay, so each and every chemical equations, it has elements or compounds on the other side. So these substances which are found on the left hand side, we call these as reactants. Okay, so there's substances on the left, they are known as reactants. So when these reactants react together, okay, so this plus sign here simply means that they are reacting together. So we say this as A reacts with B. Okay, this equal sign here, we read it as to form. Okay, so you have A reacts with, so substance A or reactant A react with reactant B to form C and what? B. Now these, we call them the product. Okay, this is what you get. Okay, this is what you get on your left hand side. Okay, this is what you get on your left hand side. Okay, so now let's give an example in terms of elements. Okay, so you have an example here. So you have hydrogen. Okay, that is hydrogen gas. Okay, we just write it in words. Okay, you have hydrogen gas plus oxygen gas. These react to form water. Okay, these will react to form water. So in symbols, hydrogen gas is written like H. Okay, we looked at this. It's simple, H, and then you write the state symbol. It's a gas plus oxygen gas, O2. That's the state symbol, and these will give us water, H2O, a liquid. Okay, so now when we look at this, so these two, this is a reactant. Okay, or this is a reactant, this is also a reactant. These two react together to form water. Okay, so these are reactants on the left hand side. These are the reactants. The reactants are the substance that are reacting, and then what is formed here is the product. So the product can either be one substance or many substances. Okay, so here we only have one substance there as the product. Okay, we only have one substance. Okay, so now we have a statement here. So the number of atoms for each element on the left hand side must be equal to the number of elements on the right hand side. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so let's just look at a few terminologies that you have to take note of under balancing equations, or just some properties you need to know. So how to count atoms. How do we count atoms? Okay, so we'll start like this. So if I write hydrogen like this without anything, okay, so we say this hydrogen, it's one atom of hydrogen. Okay, one atom of hydrogen. If I write hydrogen as a molecule, as a gas, so hydrogen as a gas always has a 2 here. Okay, so the number of atoms here, we're going to say 2 atoms of hydrogen. Two atoms of hydrogen. Okay, 2 atoms of what? Hydrogen. Then if I write a coefficient like this. Okay, the number of atoms here, we are going to say these are 3 atoms. There are 3 atoms of hydrogen here. Let's say if I write a coefficient 2, H, and a 2 down, how many atoms are here? Okay, so if you have a coefficient here and a 2 down here, you multiply them, right? You simply multiply these two. Okay, so we're going to say there are 4 atoms here. Okay, there are 4 atoms. Okay, there are 4 atoms. What about if it's like this? How many atoms can you see here? So you multiply this 3 times 2, that is 6. So there are 6 atoms. Okay, so now let's say you have given a compound, right? So let's say you are given a compound we call calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is written like this. It's a radical. It's among the radicals. Okay, so in this compound, okay, you have 2 elements. Okay, the C here. Okay, the C is there. Sorry, this is not, it's just a carbonate. I was supposed to write just a carbonate. So this is a carbonate radical, a carbonate radical, not calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate will be a compound. Okay, so just look at the carbonate alone. So the carbonate alone, it has got 2 elements. So you have the element carbon and you have the element oxygen. Okay, so now here you can see this 3 tells you that there are 3 atoms of oxygen. Okay, there are simply 3 atoms of oxygen. Carbon is just 1, so 1 atom of carbon. Okay, 1 atom of carbon. In a case where you are given this as let's say 2 as a coefficient, it's like this. So now here the tricky part is that this coefficient 2 is multiplying everything, right? So this means that for carbon, so let's start with carbon. There are 2 atoms of carbon. But for oxygen, since oxygen has a 3 here, these will multiply. 2 times 3, that is 6. So there are 6 atoms of oxygen. Okay, so with this I'll take it that you have an understanding at least on how to count atoms, right? Okay, how to count atoms. Okay, so let's go back to balancing chemical equations. Go back to balancing chemical equations. Okay, so we have this equation here. Hydrogen gas is written with a 2. When you say oxygen gas, again you add the 2, oxygen gas to the 2. So these will react to form water, which is H2O. Okay, so now if you want to balance this equation, first of all you need to take note that this is your left hand side and this is your right hand side. Okay, so we are going to say on the left, how many elements do you have? You first list your elements. You have hydrogen and you have oxygen. Then here again, so you have the left hand side and the right hand side. So these are the total elements you have. Right? You only have 2, hydrogen and oxygen. There again you have hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, so on your left, okay, so we're going to have on the left and on the right. So on the left, how many atoms of hydrogen? Okay, How many atoms of hydrogen here? So there are two. How many how many atoms of oxygen? There are two again. We go this side, eh? How many atoms of hydrogen? You find that there are two. How many atoms of oxygen? Only one. Because this is just one. This two is for hydrogen. So oxygen only one. So here, oxygen is not balanced. Okay? Oxygen, hydrogen is balanced on its own, 2, 2. But the oxygen is not balanced. So that's why we need to balance the chemical equation. So how do we balance that? So in balancing equations, the only thing you can do is to add coefficients. To add coefficients. So you're going to say, okay, what if I put a 2 here? How much will things change? So this side, when you put a 2, your hydrogen atoms are now 4 because you need to multiply this. So here, your hydrogen atoms are now 4. This 2 multiplies the oxygen. So the oxygen atoms is now 2. So this side you have 4 hydrogen atoms and 2 oxygen atoms. So how do you make? So here you need to balance it so that it becomes 4 because we've disturbed here. So we need to balance this one, which was already balanced, but then wanted to balance oxygen. So oxygen is 2 now because this 2 applies to both of them. It multiplies everything. So 2 times 2, that is 4. So here, if there is no number down, just assume there is 1. So 2 times 1, that is the 2. So after this, to make this hydrogen also 4, I'll add a 2. 2 times 2, 4. Okay, so this is 4. What else can you do? So it has balance 4, 4, 2, 2. And so, hence, the balanced chemical equation is 2H2 gas plus O2 gas is equal to 2H2O liquid. So this is the balanced equation. Okay, that is the balanced equation, meaning you have 4 hydrogen atoms, 2 oxygen atoms, and 2 oxygen atoms. Okay, let's look at another example. So say in this example, you are told that magnesium. Okay, so in this another example here. In this example, you have magnesium reacts with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. Okay, so for chemistry, always make sure you have a periodic table, and also you need to memorize the radicals and their valencies. Okay, so let's write this equation. Okay, so you're told magnesium is written like this. So magnesium, it's a solid, it's a metal. All metals group 1 and 2, they're solids. So reacts with we say plus oxygen. So oxygen O2 is equal to, it forms what? Magnesium oxide. Okay, so let's see the equation is let's see if the equation is balanced. So you have here on your, so how many, so this is your left hand side, this is your right hand side. So you have elements like magnesium and oxygen only. Okay, all right. So this side magnesium 1, also this side magnesium 1, this side oxygen 2, this side oxygen 1. So oxygen is not balanced. Okay, oxygen is not balanced. Okay, so here oxygen you only have one, but here you've got two. So I'll start by putting a 2 here. I see how much will change. Okay, let's see how much will change. So if I put a 2 here, this means that magnesium now will be 2. Oxygen will also be 2. Now magnesium here is 1, but here it's 2. Okay, so I'll put another 2 here so that magnesium also is balanced. So this will change to 2. Oxygen is still 2. Okay, so everything is 2, 2, 2. So this equation is now balanced. So the balanced chemical equation is 2 atoms of magnesium plus 2 atoms of oxygen give us 2 magnesium there. So this equation is balanced. Okay, the equation is what is balanced. Okay, so balancing the chemical equation is not that difficult. All you need to know is just test and see if the equation balances. Okay, do your best judgment, test and see if the equation will balance. Okay, so one more exam, one more question, the last one. So example, in this example you have magnesium reacting with water. This will give us magnesium hydroxide plus H2 gas. Okay, so that is the equation. It is the equation. So let's see if this equation, let's see if it's balanced. So you have magnesium reacting with water, giving us magnesium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. So this is your left hand side, this is your right hand side. So the elements you have are magnesium, you have hydrogen, and you have oxygen. Okay, you have 3 elements here. Okay, so here let's start. Magnesium here 1, hydrogen 2, oxygen 1. See this side, magnesium 1, hydrogen, because of this 2 multiplies everything in the brackets. So this hydrogen is 2 plus hydrogen 2, so hydrogen you have 4. Okay, hydrogen you have 4. So you count 2 and 2, that is 4. Oxygen, so this 2 also multiplies oxygen, so oxygen 2. So here as you can see the equation is not balanced. Magnesium of 1, 1, hydrogen you have 2, the other side has got 4. Oxygen 1, the other side 2. How do we balance this equation now? Okay, let's try see if we can balance hydrogen by putting a 2 here. So if we put a 2 here, hydrogen is now 2. 2 times 2 is 4, so hydrogen is 4, which is 4. 2 here, the oxygen now will be 2. Okay, you can see this was quite easy to balance, and already the equation is balanced just by putting a 2 on the water. Okay, just by putting a 2 on the water, the equation is what is balanced. Okay, so let me know if you have any question on this video. Leave it on the comment section. Okay, share this video. If you are not subscribed, please support our channel, grow and subscribe to the channel.